My husband got a second wife because I was infertile, but now I'm pregnant. What do I do?
Wait, a second wife? Because are
Number
these
two.
Mormons or
Number
these,
I think we're going to find out.
Yeah, I don't know about the second wife because of infertility kind of deal.
They need a baby.
But you know what they say? Happy wives, happy lives.
Bingo. Plural, specifically.
True.
Emphasis on the s. So, I'm from a culture where it's okay for a husband to have up to 4 wives, although it's not often done.
What is it? Oh, is it Mormons? It's got to be Mormons. Or I mean, in some Muslim cultures, right?
I'm almost positive it's Islam. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now, when my husband and I got married, he said he only ever wanted me. We got along great and we fell in love soon after the wedding. This was an arranged marriage.
Okay.
After trying for a child for a long time, we found out that I had diminished ovarian reserves and we would not get pregnant. And IVF would most likely be futile round after futile round. So it's like, hey,
that's rough. Yeah.
You know, you could do IVF, but like
it's not going to work.
Probably not. Nothing's going to happen. It'll just keep going. And yeah. I was absolutely heartbroken. I could not bear his children for him. He was more okay with this than I was. We discussed and reached the decision together for him to have a second wife as long as she would be a good fit for his life.
Wow. That's so... That's such a foreign conversation to me. That's like very interesting.
And they were expecting monogamy. Like they had no plans whatsoever of like.
Do you have another wedding? Do you say like you may now kiss the bride? Is the other bride there?
These are questions.
She's standing there. Do they do a 3-way kiss?
I imagine.
Do they have 3 ways?
I imagine they do have a wedding.
I love how like she's like surprised that he's not heartbroken. I'm like wondering. It's like my man's like,
you know, it'll be tough. Somehow,
but I guess we can start having threesomes.
I guess we can give it a go.
He's not heartbroken at all. He's just like doing secret fist bumps.
Yeah. Now, for example, would she be okay with living together with his first wife, me? Our religion says the second wife has rights to her own place if she wants. And we didn't want to rush anything. And I actually found a woman who was interested and I introduced her to my husband. She's being proactive over here.
Wow.
She's getting the job done. So my husband and his new wife got on well and I didn't have much jealousy and things were great.
That's awesome.
Things were rolling along here. They got married and we all lived together. And while
they got married.
They got married. Yeah.
Okay, but she didn't get married.
No. She does not get married to them, but he marries. It's like the guy is married to the wives.
Okay.
Essentially.
Okay.
They got married and we all lived together. While there were ups and downs at first, like any marriage, my husband and I had them as well. Eventually, things were awesome. We lived together and our husband treats us both excellently. She soon became pregnant and we were all super excited. Her pregnancy was hard, but I looked after her. And when the baby came, I was also a mother and loved this child like my very own. And we were all getting along so well. She now has a 4 and a 2-year-old with my husband. When we discussed our feelings once, she said she feels secure because she's been able to give my husband children. And I feel secure because I'm his first wife. However, I just found out that I am 8 weeks pregnant. After all the stuff that she went through.
That seems like it complicates things
No
a little
IVF.
bit.
They got a second wife, and now finally she's pregnant. God.
The IVF didn't work. Dude. The second wife did work.
And now here we are.
Back to square one.
What terrible timing. I never expected this to happen, and I really am so happy, but I'm terrified of how this is going to change our relationship dynamic. I'm scared she will be hurt or our household might be split into 2 households. And then I'll have to get my husband 50% of the time with a newborn. I really don't want to hurt the co-wife. I don't want to ruin the family dynamic. And I feel pressure all the time. And I haven't yet told my husband or my co-wife, please, I really need advice. I feel so bad for her. She's like,
I also I am probably the least qualified person to give advice on this relationship.
No,
I have no, how do you give advice here? I have no idea how polygamous relationships work. I have no idea about the dynamics. My suspicion is it's actually not that big of an issue. I think it's not going to really change the dynamic that much.
It sounds like it's we all have anxieties and things that in our own heads seem like the worst things in the world. But it sounds like Her husband, the co-wife, are both completely reasonable, understanding, loving. Like they've worked through all of these scenarios like together.
Yeah.
So
why would anything change here? Like it sounds like they have a great relationship with each other. So
Exactly.
I think it's gonna be fine. But I'm just fascinated. Like now I'm like, dude, I want to read more relationship stories about other cultures.
yeah,
Like, because this is like I've never.
that is that is an interesting thread to go on.
I've literally never heard of anything like this.
Yeah.
Like I'm so also, I mean, have you read Sex at Dawn before?
No.
Or so like it's a book about like sex and relationships and
right.
and they talk about how the default state of humans is to be polygamous, but within the context of like a group of people, and not polygamous, polyamorous. I always get those two mixed up.
Right.
But like,
How dare you, by the way?
I know.
But continue.
How dare I? But like the sex would actually maintain bonds between members of the group, and instead of childbearing, or instead of like raising children, and instead of one mother raising children, the group would raise the children. And so it was the group's children rather than like a single
one couple
person's children.
And is that like kind of hunter-gatherer times?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
hey, we
yeah.
have our pack, we travel together, like we all
Exactly.
just kind of have kids together.
And I feel like this is like the closest modern day equivalent
Yeah.
to a relationship that is like that. Although I feel like this relationship is in terms of power dynamics, it's not as equal, because it's like
Yeah.
only the man.
Only the
And-
man can have wives.
Yeah. So I feel like the power dynamic is a little bit off from the hunter-gatherer days, but
Mhm.
still fascinating. And it's cool that it's like working for them.
Yeah, it seems like some people do have polyamorous relationships out there. It's crazy that it's illegal and criminalized in North and South America,
Yeah.
including all 50 states. I had no idea. That's
Yeah.
wild.
The institution of, I mean, we just let like gay people get married.
This
so
is
it's
true.
like,
This is true. Except for Utah.
except for
Utah's out here. They're like, "Sir, you don't have a felony. Here's a parking ticket. Keep
It's for those Mormons, those
keep
Orthodox
on keeping
Mormons.
on, baby." And there's an update.
Oh, there's an update. Sheesh.
Thank you to everyone who's taken the time to reply. It has really warmed my heart to see such kind-hearted replies, and also that I've had people from other cultures too talk about it in an understanding way, which is so sweet.
That's awesome.
I've decided to have a talk with my husband and co-wife about it, and they're optimistic and excited. Final update. Husband and co-wife know. Sorry I didn't reply to everyone, but I promised to read everyone's posts. Although there have been some up and downs, overall, things are good, and my husband and co-wife are happy for me.
Happy endings.
Dude, it worked out.
There we go.
My husband needs to get over his dad's death right now.
Wow.
Stop grieving. Stop it.
Hey, 7 stages of grief. Do it in 1 stage. How about right now? Snap. I'm going to Thanos snap you out of that grief. I'm going to good that grief like Charlie Brown.
Now, my boyfriend John, great name, and I both have been together for 4 years. For those 2 years, his father, Richard, has had cancer, and tragically, he passed away 3 months ago.
Rough.
Very rough. Richard lived with my boyfriend's sister, Amy, but we've spent the past 2 years helping out every single weekend, going to hospital visits, staying the night quite often. And the 3 months before he passed away, we were visiting every other day, as well as helping out with the chores, cleaning up, and giving Amy a break. Man, they're putting in the work
They're
over
doing
here.
everything. Put in the work, put in the hours.
I also
Take what's ours.
I also really liked Richard and thought he was an amazing father, so I was also very upset at the situation. When his dad got diagnosed, John requested that I don't talk to him about anything negative going on in my life because he was too stressed to deal with anyone else's petty issues while his father was dying, and has not seen my family in 2 years because he said he didn't have the mental energy to deal with them.
Shit.
A little suspect, if you ask me. He is in therapy already and has been for the past 2 years. I complied, and a few times I slipped up and told him about the things going on in my life.
For 2 years, it's a long time to not like be there for your partner.
Say one thing, be
Yeah.
able to vent one time. He told me that it is rude of me to talk about my stupid problems when he has such big ones going on.
Oh, that's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're going through a tough time, OP, or not, or I know like the guy's going through a tough time, but like if you're going to be in a relationship, you have to
It's
a
too
give and
much.
take, you
It's
know?
too much. You know,
2 years is a long time.
you're getting a lot of support from her. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta give a little
some
support back. Last week, I got passed over for a big promotion in work, even though I've gotten super great reviews, and I mentioned how annoyed I was about it. Once again, my boyfriend said he doesn't need to hear about my small problems while he is grieving. Yep. I have been emotionally drained for years at this stage, and I ask him, when will I be able to talk to him about my problems without him belittling them? And I said that his father being dead does not mean that my problems are completely invalid. This is true.
Fair.
I also asked him when he thinks our relationship can go back to being mutually supportive, and he said, "Are you seriously asking me when I'll be getting over my dad dying?"
This guy's kind of like emotionally manipulating her a little bit.
It's a bit too much.
Like this is like actual manipulation. It seems like he's like using his father's death to not be a good partner.
Astute observation, Samuel. I said I was kind of in a way, and he got really upset.
Wow.
His
Doubling
friends doubling down, baby. Are you asking when I'm gonna get over my dying dad?
Yes.
I feel like he's spinning the whole situation as relationships should be a give and take.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, I think 2 years is a long time. And like, that's a weird stipulation to say, like,
You can't talk to me any problems?
Yeah, for 2 years.
Yeah.
That's kind of shitty.
Too
Like, I
much.
can understand, like, all right, hey, like, like this, you know, like a week or even a month.
Or just like hey, like, you can share stuff with me, but I might not be my full supportive self given everything that's on my mind. That's a lot more understandable, right?
But for 2 years, that's a
2
long time.
years?
That feels like a new normal.
Leave it.
Leave.